And anybody tells you that these are the best 5 heroes, I could beat it in 10 tries or less. I promise you.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
The 5 best heroes. How do you create such a list? How do you create such a list of 5 heroes? Because you can't just pick 5 heroes. Like the top 5 best heroes, they wouldn't make a team together. You can't really do it that way. Hard to quantify. How do you do it? Do you talk about the best? See, I like the conversation about the top 5 best tanks, top 5 best damage dealers. I think that's a more effective, more efficient chat, because you can talk about more effective hero choices individually, but you can't. If you say the top 5 best heroes, such a thing doesn't exist, because if you were to include, let's just say hypothetically, we're looking at a team, and we say that the 5 best heroes are, I don't know, Aurora, Cork, Nebula, Sebastian, Morgan. Let's say these are the 5 best heroes. Can this team be beaten? Yes, definitely it could be beaten. You know, both the hypothetical best team and this team can be beaten. So then you have to have the conversation, well, if this team can be beaten, then it's not the best team. Maybe we're talking about the best defensive team. Well, that it doesn't exist. The best defensive team doesn't exist because every defense can be beaten. There are some teams that have a higher win rate than others. You start talking about the best team on offense, the best 5 heroes on offense. Well, that team doesn't work against everybody, right? The team that I use a ton, Hero Wars Dominion Era, Hero Wars Facebook and web version of the game, is some variant of this team right here, right? I use these 4 heroes, really these 3 heroes, a lot. I also use a ton the Arachne Amira combo, sometimes with Mara, sometimes with Polaris, and none of those can beat every team. The best 5 heroes, I don't feel like exists. I think that there is no answer to that. I don't think that there is a possible discussion about the best 5 heroes. Now, what I would say is this, is there is a best way to build a team. You need some kind of tank, you need some kind of damage dealer, and you need some kind of healer. You need to have supporting heroes, both control heroes, support heroes, healers, other damage dealers, maybe multiple tanks, in order to fill out that primary, set of 3 required heroes: tank, damage dealer, and healer. And sometimes your tanks aren't tanks. Sometimes your tanks are support heroes. Sometimes your tanks are damage dealers, right? Sometimes your support heroes are damage dealers in the case of like Amira. So I don't think that that's a fair or possible to answer question. I don't think so. I think that if anybody tells you that this is the best 5 heroes, you have to be careful, because they very likely don't mean that it's the best 5, the best team. They probably don't mean that. They probably mean these are the best heroes to have leveled up. And that kind of conversation, I could say, well, it's good to have Morrigan leveled up because she counters Rufus and Dante. It's good to have Iris leveled up because she counters most tanks. It's good to have Arachne leveled up because of the stun lock. You can have those kinds of conversations, but you got to be careful when you say things like these are the best 5 heroes. And anybody tells you that these are the best 5 heroes, I could beat it in 10 tries or less. I promise you. Best 5 heroes, I'm sorry, my guy, they just don't, that conversation, there's not an answer to it. There is not an answer to it. Yeah.